Hey, what's up?
Alright.
Are you okay?
You guys hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Is that a yes to me?
Yes.
And
Yeah,
chat
I hear you fine, Brian.
Hello.
I hear you.
Hey,
You
friends.
hear us?
Hey, what's up, guys? Good morning, everybody. Good.
Morning.
Then you guys hear me.
Yes.
Mhm.
Who's urinating?
Okay.
Okay.
And
All right, sound off. Who's wearing pants?
who's
So nobody. Awesome.
All right, cool, nice.
Hey, Matt.
Yes.
It says I need Skype Premium to share a screen.
What?
Let's try it with the video call. Or
Maybe it's just the fact of the group. Yeah. Assholes. Okay.
Well,
Well,
let's get Premium, and I'll just cancel it later.
fuck it. Okay. Cool. Don't forget. That might be something we need to take a look at. Like, we're looking at called
VC.
VC or whatever. I still gotta have you help me fix that up, Alan. But like, it lets you draw on other people's screens. Like, if you're drawing in Photoshop, you can say, "Oh, how about change
I
this?"
don't
and you
want
draw
all this shit.
You can also take remote control of other people's screens, like Sarah was using my ZBrush on my screen.
Oh
that
yeah,
was
VC.
awesome.
It's pretty cool.
I even saved the work on his desktop. That was awesome.
Yep. Still there?
That's why Google Hangout is 100 times better than Skype.
This is true.
Sorry for the delay, everyone.
It's alright.
We
Okay.
didn't expect
If your game is successful, you owe me $9.99.
$9.99.
Is that with or without tax?
Depends on what country you're living in.
I would think it'd be without tax since it's an online transaction.
Well, while I'm doing this, if anybody has any questions on what I do, or if you don't know me, just feel free to ask me kind of general questions.
Okay.
How you been, man?
Who,
Good.
me? Oh,
Not you, Franz. We know how you've been.
I'm like, what?
How about that tournament last night?
I had fun.
I did too. I gotta practice more.
Did any of you win?
What?
Any of you?
Our team lost twice, so we came in fourth
Yeah.
place.
Yeah, we got
Woo!
puppies.
Fourth place.
Might have to let you go. I don't know. Let you-
Not our fault. We had decent players. We had Sarah. We had Deco. I was semi-okay.
You're saying you were the weak link, huh?
No, that was the other guy.
I wouldn't say that, but I mean, we all had our flaws, so I mean, we try to work together as a team as much as we could, so.
Wait, you mean you didn't like pick one guy and start blaming him and flaming him? What? That's not the way.
Yeah, we blamed the other guy.
Well, that Deco complained a bit. I mean, it's a game. We all complain at each other, like, dude, what are you doing? But I mean, at the end, it's to game. We had fun, but we really didn't want to crucify anyone, but
we had to.
Nico's fault.
yeah, damn Deco. Avery was supposed to play with us, but he didn't show.
He didn't show last night, but he got in touch with me tomorrow today. Oh, bam.
So how is working at Carbine?
It's good. We're fucking crushing the hell out of the game right now, so it's long days. But I got.
What is the game released?
Hopefully soon. I can't tell you exactly when. But
It's double secret probation, man.
don't be surprised if you hear it within the next couple weeks.
Okay.
Where is Carbine?
We're in Orange
wow.
County.
Nice.
How's the cost of living over there?
It's the worst.
Oh boy.
I pay probably double what I would pay there for a 2-bedroom place. I have a 1-bedroom place.
Jeez.
It's a beautiful area out here, though. It's not fucking Phoenix, I'll tell you that. Like,
Of course not, it's Cali.
Don't feel like you're gonna get killed when you step out the door.
there we go. You guys see my screen?
Except.
It is
Maybe
there.
I think my screen just froze.
And there we go.
There we go.
Come on.
$10 of
$10?
Everybody chips
Alright.
in $1.
Oh, nice. Okay.
It'd still be like
I see
$4
wood
short.
in the north here. I think.
Okay, well, I got a couple pictures here to share with you guys.
Ooh.
Okay, cool. Well, sorry about that. So I'm just gonna kind of explain to you guys kind of what the general gist is behind hand painted normals and how it can be faster than actually projecting or crazy bumping most of the time, and how much of a cleaner and stronger and more control you have over your normal than you would with other methods. So, as you guys see here, I mean, can everybody see everything? I guess that's
Yes.
the first question.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Are you guys recording this still, or?
Yeah.
Okay, alright, cool. So, you guys see this sphere on the left-hand side of the screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind
Yes.
of what this normal on the right side here represents, is a sphere coming at you. This would be the direction of like it lighting from the top, the purple at the bottom is it lighting from the bottom, and then left and right are the blue and red. Those are kind of the general directions that you need to follow, and then everything else kind of falls in between, and those would be special cases. So those are your 90-degree angles that you're always going to be painting from. It's really simple. So, I mean, for something like a circle, all you would do is copy and paste this guy in here and match it up to your circle. Like, voila, you got a normal sphere. Basically, the general gist of it is that you would just change your opacity really quick on your normal layer and just match it up to whatever object that you have. And then if I ended up saving this guy out, and then Crazy Bump, I actually don't have any 3D software. But as you guys can see here, that's like your normal. That's what it would look like as a sphere, right? Does that all make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So as opposed to me creating a sphere in Crazy Bump, let's see what that would look like. So if I paste from a height map, this is what I would get in Crazy Bump. That's not representative of what I wanted at all, right? Like it's beveling on this side. I'm getting this weird banding from me, like having a gradient in Photoshop. Like, even if I sit here and just adjust my Crazy Bump settings to have just large detail, it's not as sharp of a shape as I would have had just having a hand-painted normal. So the question is where did I get this normal from? This is just a sphere that I took in Maya and projected down onto a plane. So that's where these come into. This is just a faceted sphere that I took in Maya. This is just another faceted sphere with a bevel on the inside. So this is my normal direction going out like a sphere. Here's my flat normal like a lip, like a bevel. And then here it is reversed going in. And then this is a similar thing out in flatness. So this would be kind of like a bolt or something, right? So that's kind of the benefit of using hand-painted normals is you just get a deeper, more accurate normal than you would from projection. Say you were projecting a bolt on the side of an object. It's not always going to calculate the right angles for that bolt. So sometimes it's easier for you just to go into your 2D texture and just put that bolt hand-painted, and it'll be a stronger, sharper thing. So I'm just going to go and delve into how you go about painting a hand-painted normal. Super simple. It's super easy, but it seems backwards as hell. Like, it doesn't seem like something that you should be doing. And it seems like it takes a long time, but it doesn't. And you get more bang for your buck, actually, in the end. So here's this texture that I painted this morning in, like, an hour or something like that. It's just kind of a metal, whatever, generic thing. It's like got some bolts. It's got wherever the fuck this glowy thing is on in the center. So the way you would go about this is you would create a new layer above everything, and you're going to just mask selections that you want your normal to be on. So I'm going to say this door is going to be a selection. So this panel right here, I want that to be one of my selections. This bolt, I'm going to make a mask for that. And one thing about this is it's hand-painted textures, so your normal doesn't have to be 100% accurate, but you want it to be as accurate as possible. So every bolt, I'm going to sit here and mask out. That'll be one layer. On my other layer, I would have these guys be a mask. These little hinges. Can everybody see everything okay? Is this too small of a screen?
No, it's fine.
That's fine.
Okay, good. I'd mask these hinges out. And since I have one down here, I'm just going to do the same thing. So there's my hinges, there's my door. I'm going to grab the center sphere guy here, whatever this is. I'm going to keep all these masks on their own separate layers. It's just easier for you down the road.
Mhm.
If you just want to use the wand tool, if your values aren't too similar, you can if you want to paint all on one layer. So there's my sphere guy. There's that. I have my bolts, my door, my hinges, and everything else doesn't really have to have a mask. Like those are the really big objects that I have on the texture. For the sake of it, I'll make a mask for this outer bevel here. And I'm going to fill that in. I'm going to delete my other panel there. Now I just have this selection. And I'm going to paint some darker colors where that bevel lights differently. What is it? Oh. Okay. So if you were making this and you had a texture already done, you were making this in Maya or 3ds Max or XSI, whatever weird 3D package that you use, you'd have to go back and model to your texture, or you'd have to plan that this is what your texture was going to be from the beginning. So just makes it easier than having to model an entire texture from scratch, or entire model from scratch just to get a simple normal out of it. Okay. So there's all my masks. That's kind of what it looks like. And I'm just going to fill the background with black. And you guys can kind of see generally what it looks like. The hinges aren't perfect, whatever. If I want to adjust that later, I can. I'm just going to make these into a group called masks, just for organization purposes. And I'm going to take all my diffuse stuff, and I'm just going to call this diffuse. Okay. So now that I have all my masks, it's really just about painting. On a new layer outside my mask group, I'm going to make a new group called Normals. And on a new layer, I'm going to sit here and start painting my normal. So let's start with the hinge here. So if I take my entire group down, opacity, I can bring it back in and out really quickly. So I have my selection for my door. I just want the door to be a flat diffuse, or a flat normal. So all I'm going to do is color pick this normal color. This, I think it's 128 by 128, something 255 RGB value. But I mean, you guys can just get it from whatever blank normal map that you have. So all I'm going to do is just sit there and fill in where I want it. So now I have these bolts selected. I can just sit here and go to my little guy here that I have, which is this flat normal. Now this looks like it's beveling in, and that's fine because it's going to work perfectly for what I have. That's the opposite direction of what I want. So all I have to do is grab this and invert it. Now it's beveling out. So it's lighting from top, it's lighting from bottom, it's lighting from right, lighting from left. Just like this sphere that I had up earlier. So all I'm going to do is call this bolt, and all you have to do is now place that guy right where you want him. And if you're having trouble seeing him, take your opacity down for a minute. Zoom in. Looks like it matches up. Now what's cool about that is I have this divot right behind it. So I can just duplicate this guy, put him under my bolt, and re-invert his normal. So now I have it going in, and then the bolt is coming out at me. Damn, like your bolt is completely done.
Nice.
So here's my panel. I would do the same thing for this center circle. I would just grab wrong layer. Why is that? Oh, I want it. Here, why is it not? Really? For some reason it's not copying that in there. There we go. I would do the same things for this sphere here. So if I wanted that to come out, I would. But say something like, I didn't want that sphere to be that intense. All you have to do is grab, you know, the center part of this to where it's not that intense of a normal. Like this is a really intense value right here and normal direction. So all I'm going to do is copy and paste that guy at a lower intensity. Because sometimes you don't want your normal direction lighting too harshly, or else the shader is going to turn really weird on it. But then say I want that bevel to be a little more intense. Whoa. Control Z that. I'm just going to match that up. That bevel right there. Drop that guy right below. Bam. That guy's done. I'm going to duplicate this. This is a similar guy. So, I like that. Now the problem is like I have these cracks, and I'll get to that later. So there's a normal for that. I got my panel. I got my bolts still. I'm going to collapse my bolts. Oops. Where's that layer? I'm going to collapse 2 of my bolts down. I'm just going to duplicate those guys to where they need to be. Probably good enough. Good enough. Okay. So now I have all those. These are my bolts. This guy is my glowy thing. And then I'm going to name this panel. Okay. So now I'm going to do this outer panel. So you kind of just want to work in layers, like what's on top of one another. So all I'm going to do is grab, this is where this faceted normal comes in handy. As you can see, it's a little more easy to color pick what direction you need. If you need something more precise, then you can just take your regular sphere one and pick within there. But I like this one because each of my normal directions are separated out into rings, and it shows me the intensity of each one, and I can line them up perfectly with what intensity they're going to be. So if I want something really shallow and kind of not really that deep, I'm going to pick these layers, these colors right here in the middle. If I want something more mid-range, I'm going to pick these colors like right outside that, and then deeper and deeper you go. So I'm going to grab kind of a deep middle. So all I would do is start painting. So you paint where your lighting is coming in from. So everything on this area, this right here, is lighting from this direction. So I'm going to color pick. I'm going to color pick. God damn it. Really? I'm going to color pick this color right here. So all I would do is go back to my mask that I created right there. And I'm going to color pick on here, and I'm just going to paint my normal direction right there. So this is lighting from the left side. I'm going to pick the left side of the sphere. Paint. Same thing goes for top and bottom. Since I stayed within that, I'm going to stay within that ring. I'm just going to paint. Oops, sorry. Line from the top. It's lighting from that direction. I'm going to pick my color here. Back to my selection. And I'm going to pick what's lighting from the bottom of the sphere. I'm just going to paint that there. You guys can just use the fill hotkeys if you need to, if your selections are nice enough. And if you have problems where your corner is rounded, you just paint out that little area right there. It doesn't have to always be 100% accurate. If you're OCD like me, you probably do want it to be. So, and then this last section, I'm just going to paint this direction. You have to be careful with really thin lines. Normal maps alias really bad, and the deeper your normal map, the more harsh the lighting is going to show. So you also have to take into account that your normal map is going to double up any darks that you have on your diffuse. So if you have something really dark, you probably don't want to put a normal that's super intense, because it's going to make all your darks look just darker. I don't know where my bolts went. I must have deleted the layer accidentally. But you guys saw this. Same thing is going to go for these lines here. I'm just going to put a layer under my panel. I'm just going to paint these lines. And if you just hold shift, Photoshop, it'll draw a straight line for you. Bottom. I mean, actually, you could determine if that's lighting from the top. It's whether you want it beveling out or beveling in. It's up to you. And this is lighting from the top. You kind of got to think in opposites quite a bit. It's annoying, I know, but you get used to it. So everything's ready to go there. Let me just read the normal here for the bolts. Or else it's gonna bug the shit out of me. I'm actually gonna turn off all these layers so I can see what the fuck I'm doing. So all you would do is turn down your fill opacity, reverse that normal. This too is like where it can just be easy enough that you just paint a flat color. So I'm gonna duplicate that, re-invert it. So that's still beveling out, so all I'm going to do is grab a neutral color on my normal map and just paint that neutral color right on top of here. And that's where you get more control also, like if your bolts are imperfect, if you didn't paint them quite right, you can kind of just match them up by painting over them. There's my bolt back again. I'm just going to dupe these guys around. I'm just going to call these guys lines or something, panel bolt. Okay, so that's kind of the basics of the entire texture. All that's really left to do is the hinges. The hinges can be easy enough. If you just projected a cylinder, you could do that. But I'm just going to sit here, grab my hinges. I'm going to turn off all my normal layers real quick so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm just going to paint normal lighting from the left side here. And I'm going to paint a normal lighting from the right side here. And then I'm going to paint a neutral color with a soft brush right down the center. So it kind of softens those edges. And then I got my little hinge there. Now all I have to do is go in, decide which way these little grooves are lighting from. I'm going to say they're lighting from bottom. I usually like to light my stuff bottom up. I always treat it also as lighting from, from top down. Like, you don't want something like with a gradient going to one side, especially on a tile texture, or else you're gonna get really like banding textures. So there's my thing. I'm just gonna clean this up a bit. Just gonna grab this selection and transform it up a bit. There we go. It looks like I got a seam there. Actually, I'll just paint that back in. whatever. Good enough. There's my little bracket. And for this guy, I'm going to do something similar. I'm going to make my selection again. And I'm just going to choose the normal direction that it's lighting from. So it looks like it's lighting from this direction. From here. So I'm just going to choose this normal here. And that's where that facet sphere comes in handy. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to go down. I'm going to choose the opposite direction. I'm just going to paint in right there. I got a small little lip here, so I'm just going to choose lighting from the right. Clean that guy up a little bit. Probably never even noticed that anyway. And now my two brackets are done. So I have everything. I have my brackets. I have my my panels, and I have my bolts. Now you'll notice the bolts, I didn't do the little squares. All you would do is, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. Just for the shader to turn. All I would do is grab the direction that those are lighting from. They could light from top or bottom. It doesn't matter. There we go. I have newfound respect for those Noman DVDs, because they probably sound just as boring as I do. Or I sound as boring as them. So. Okay. So, that's kind of what it looks like. Clean that up a little bit, so it doesn't look too bad. And it's all starting to come together. So, I'm going to call this bolt lines or something. You could collapse that into the bolts if you wanted to. Always save. It was a good thing. Especially because my computer blue screen last time I did this. These little nicks and scratches, these like Wolverine things that are going across, you can, if you want, you can just paint one color onto them. So if I take my fill down to like 50%, I can just choose the color, the direction that they're lighting from, and just paint those in. They're a little thin, so you might want to be careful, especially if you have any game that has, or any engine that has mipping problems. So if your texture is going to mip down, then your normal is going to mip down with it, and it's just going to turn into mush. So you always want to author it at the intended resolution that you're going to have in your engine. I painted that guy. This guy's lighting from multiple directions. So I'm going to choose top. It looks like his lip is coming out a little more there. It's lighting from that direction. And then this one's lighting from a steeper angle here. going to turn that to 100% again. Clean up the little rough edges that I didn't get. If you had a perfect mask that you did before, or if you just kept that on a separate layer to begin with, you wouldn't even have to make a mask. So always be conscious when you're making your diffuse that you have separate layers for some of this stuff. Like you probably would have wanted the hinges to be a separate layer. Wanted the bolts because I had to sit there and go back and make masks. And like it's always going to be 100% more accurate if you have your stuff all organized and ready to go before you even start painting. And it's just going to save you a lot of time. So those are those scratches. I'm actually going to light this guy from 2 angles. All I'm going to do is take this brush, go down the center of that scratch. You stop me anytime if anybody has any questions or if this is just becoming redundant, if it's just the same information over and over. We can talk about other stuff too. But, so there we go. All my scratches are done. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I just said I like Chinese food. That was me being random. Don't worry, just continue.
Alright. Cool story, bro. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'll reprimand him later. Not kidding.
So I'm going to do the same thing here. This little nick here. Just going to paint where that's lighting from. I'm going to take the opposite direction on my faceted sphere. So super easy. The eraser tool is your best friend, especially if you keep it at 100% opacity, so you can just erase out edges that you didn't need. I'm going to do the same thing for this nick down here. Okay, that guy's looking good. Lighting from the bottom and the top. So it's like this, and then it's like this. Okay. So there's all my nicks. I call these Wolverine scratches. And I'm going to call these guys nicks. So that's it. Basically, my normal's done at this point, right? So now all I have to do is go in, fill my entire background with my flat normal. Bam, you got a completely done normal. Now there's a couple other things. So I'm going to collapse this guy. Let's take him into Crazy Bump and see what he looks like. And we'll compare what if I did a height map and if I did that.
Yeesh.
Right. Oh, did I just close? Open Crazy Bump. So if I take this to a box, you guys can kind of see what my normal map is looking like. I think I can paste a diffuse in here. Let's see here. Evaluate previewer. So now you guys can see there's my normal. And my hinges are popping out. My bolts are popping out. And this looks like it's lighting a little strong, the center sphere, but you know, whatever. Also, like, this is kind of a weird previewer. So it looks like it's warping a bit, so you probably would want to tone that back. If you wanted to tone that back, all you would do is go back into your normal, grab your selection. On the layer above, I'm just going to take this flat normal. And I'm just going to paint it over. And then take the fill down. And I'm going to bring back out that sphere. Like that was. I'll just erase that. So, copy that guy back in. Go to my normal. Did I say, normal from clipboard. Now that normal isn't as deep right there. Does that make sense to everybody?
Mm.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
really cool.
So, my normal map's completely done, but say I want to add like a little bit of polish to it. So all I'm going to do is if I want this door to light differently, let's bring my... I want this door to light differently here, and turn a little different from everything else. I'm going to go in here, and I'm just going to choose a really faint normal direction. So I'm gonna choose one from the right side on the faceted sphere here, and I'm gonna grab my panel door selection there. I'm just gonna fill that in, but I'm gonna take the fill way down. So I'm going to take it to about 25%. That might be too strong. But if I copy and collapse everything and bring that back in, paste normal. Now you can see that door is turning just a tad bit differently from everything else, thus separating it from like all the other shapes, which is really nice. So if you want some different specularity on different parts of your texture, you can have them turn differently. So if I wanted to take all my bolts, I'm going to sit here, paint a faint normal direction over them. I'm just going to do them from the top. Let me redo that, because I don't want that bevel to get caught up in it. So I'm gonna take my brush down.
Can you just leave it on normal? You don't overlay or anything?
No, the overlay is gonna strengthen whatever normal you have underneath it. So what I like to do is just section that area off. And then I'll have these turn a little differently. I'll just choose some random different colors, so they turn different ways. I'm going to take that back down to something like 20%. So you guys probably can't see the difference, but I mean, and then I'm going to take these bolt lines and I'm going to delete them out because I don't want them being overwritten either. So there's that. And then let's take this outside square here and do the same thing. So I'm going to make a selection. Of everything. And then I'm going to deselect the center. Yeah. And under my lines, I'm going to put normal direction coming from here. from the right, from the bottom, from the top, and from the side. And if I just make that selection again, I can go in and clean up that normal real quick. I don't want I want these lines to intersect like they would naturally, as if that is a bevel. And I'm just going to take this to a low opacity, like 20% again. And let's see what this guy looks like. Now you can kind of see that you're getting different lighting. Can you guys see that?
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty subtle. Let me just strengthen it a little bit on the outside and you can really see. So I'm going to take this up to something like 50% or 60%. I go back to crazy bump. I can really see that turning on the outside there. So, yeah, I mean, that's it really. It gives you a lot more control. And since you have all these selections and stuff, I mean, I have little stuff where I probably need to go and clean this up where stuff doesn't connect properly. But overall, you know what, like, whoever's looking at that texture isn't going to see that. You want to be pretty much 95% accurate, but if little mistakes fall in there, it's not that big of a deal. It's just to turn your object and turn your spec over everything.
Well, you did a lot faster than by projecting a whole model, so it's like super cool.
Yeah, that took 30 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Or an entire tile texture.
Yeah. And bam.
Can you switch it? Can you switch up the textures again?
I'm sorry, what?
Could you switch up the textures again like you did before?
On the
You
like this? Or before I made that change?
Before you made the change, sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. Yeah, so let's take that guy back down to 20%. Before I made the ones that help turn the panels all together, or just that outside?
Oh, no, I just meant, you would just turn it on, off and on the textures on the left side of the screen here. I want to see if you could do that one more time.
Oh, yeah, like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
right, cool.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty accurate.
Yeah,
little bolts here, those little bolts there on the hinges right here, you could probably sit there and paint those, you know, with a little normal also. These guys right here. Really? Is it not? I have no idea why my pen just stopped working. Oh, it's not. There we go. Okay, yeah, these little guys right here. So that's kind of how you would do it for a mechanical object, like metal or something. I have a wood texture here. If you guys really want to see me paint another one, I can show you. But it would just be a similar thing. But the only thing that you would do is you wouldn't paint all this little tiny wood grain. It's just not worth it. There's no reason to. It's just going to make your texture noisy. So you would treat it as like big shapes. all you would do is like paint, you know, that big shape, and then you would paint that big shape right there. All the grain is going to do is like make your spec feel a lot more harsher. I know it's wood, so it probably doesn't have that much specularity to it in the first place, but so that's kind of the gist of that. And then you would go in and paint like these little knots and these divots and stuff. And if you had multiple boards, I mean, you would go in, you would have like a gap between them. And all you would do is take like a harsher color there and paint it there. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Would you be okay with sending us your normal map palettes to me by email?
Or drag
I can.
in the Skype.
The stuff on the right, just for the artist to use as a palette.
I would, but these are actually from Carbine.
Well,
Okay.
So, but it's really fucking easy to make. Like, all you have to do is project a few spheres within Maya, top down. Like, it's super easy. If you guys have any trouble doing it, let me know, and I'll make one for you and send it over to you. I just don't have any 3D software here to make one.
That's cool.
Else I would have just made some for you guys, like, during the demo.
Fine. Oh, that's fine. I mean, it's pretty easy to project a circle, so no.
Yeah, it's if you guys can't do that, you're gonna have a terrible time making a game. So.
True that. I don't know about anyone else here, but I would like to see your texturing process for your views.
Sure. What kind of texture would you like me to show you?
Well, anything hard surface would probably be good. I'm also probably a wood. Like, I'm really trying to figure out how you would go about like hand painting wood.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I've been teaching my wife how to paint wood for the past like week, so I'm definitely in that mindset. So I appreciate that. I will send you guys this PSD that I just did for this normal. I mean, if you want, I'd appreciate if you didn't use this texture for your game. I don't really care. I don't know why you would, but you're free to mull it over.
Cool.
Right, just
And,
kind of dissect it and stuff.
Yeah, and everything's in layers. It should be named kind of, sort of, not really, but whatever. You'll figure it out. I'll try and rename everything.
Thank you.
Okay, so did you guys want to take like a quick 5-minute break?
Sure, I'm
Yeah, like-
right now, so that works.
Then
Yeah,
I'll
like
go over how to paint wood.
Sounds good to me. So 5 minutes, guys.
Smoke 'em if you got 'em.